Hello everybody, my name is Shretex and welcome to a video about Bannerlord everybody. So it's been a few days now since Bannerlord has been released onto the world as 1.0, the finished version, the final cheese as they say. Is that even a saying, final cheese? I'm going to go with it anyway, it's fine. So 20th October, I'm playing this a few days later. The game's been released on console and PC. It's been released as 1.0. Which is weird because the game is already 1.0 a few years ago, but don't question it, it's 1.0 again. It can happen twice. It's like those movies where they randomly rename the same title and it's really confusing because you search for it and you accidentally buy the old version. You're like, I wanted to see the new one. That's what's happened, basically, everybody. Anyway, so what is up with 1.0? At this point, I have played it for 20 to 30 hours, so I feel like I have a good grasp on what 1.0 holds for me at this point of time. I want to do a quick video talking about my feelings about it. It's not going to be very long. I just want it because I just spent 20-30 hours recording my series. I want to get my thoughts out into the open on like a big splurge video, go through what I think, and after that people can accept that I have an opinion and then move on with their lives. I can move on with my life. I feel like I've achieved something and everyone's happy. So what do I feel about the release version of Bannerlord? I'm going to give it a number, everybody. This is not a review, not in any way. I'm not a reviewer. I play games in specific ways I like playing. If I don't like something, I will say. If I find something boring, I will avoid doing it. So I'm not going to say I've gone through the game every single aspect. I've not done every single thing there is to do. I like fighting. That's what I've been doing. But at this point in time, I will say that the number I'm going to give it is going to be a 7 out of 10. So this is also including stuff like the promise of the future with all the mod tools and stuff. It's a 7 out of 10 game for me. The game is, I'm not going to go into negative streak, don't worry. We're going to talk about positive and negatives. The game is very awesome. I'm not going to just take that away from the game. The game has an awesome idea. There's not many games on the planet that you can go from a crazy peasant wearing some random stray barrel thing with an axe in his shoulder for some reason to leading a country and being a king of an entire nation. It's just not many. It's a pretty cool idea. I actually think it's sad there's not more games like this in the world. There's only like 4 or 5 I can think of right now. So that was very close. So I am playing this while playing, so I'm multitasking. Yeah, so I think the game's going for it. It's got good graphics, there's massive battles, and there is an insane amount of features. The amount of stuff you can try and do in this game is ridiculous. They have tried to put in features from every single genre possible. I'm pretty sure there's even, you can even play chess, or like, drafts? I'm trying to combine, I don't know what drafts is. I was meant to say chess. I'm going to go with chess. There's a lot of stuff you can do, but with all these features they've kind of bundled into the game, there is a glaring issue that all these features are not really that developed. They are all quite basic. They're all quite shallow. I'm going to say the game is an ocean of content, but with a depth of a puddle. It will only take you a few moments to identify what a feature is, identify the whole aspect of the feature, and then it's over. You've learnt it all. Good job, man. There's no like in-depth like craziness going on. It's all just on the surface level, a lot of stuff going on. It just goes through that way. Oh, I don't want to play it. Wait, give me a second, everybody. I'm not playing as a spear. Spears suck. So reason I'm saying 7 out of 10, I'm going to say there's 3 major reasons. I'm not going to spend more than a few minutes talking about this. This is literally just a random like blog thoughts video. It's not a proper video at all. I'm just talking about stuff. I'm going to say my 3 major issues with the game. I'm going to be summarized into bugs, everybody. Bugs. Now, bugs are good if you're playing a game like Grounded, but this is now a finished game. It's been released as a finished product, and there are a lot of bugs, everybody. There are bugs in many forms, in many severities. There are, I'm going to say for bugs, it's going to be about, let's say, ranging from graphics being a bit weird. That's actually okay. I'm not going to complain about that. Like, let's say random floating barrels on maps, or like crazy shadows across the screen all the time, to stuff ranging from full-on crash bugs, or like crazy AI not being able to use ladders at all, or like maps being broken, like falling through the earth. In the video I released today, actually, I think it was episode 4. If you've seen episode 4. I was doing an army battle, and all of a sudden, loads of allies just spawned on top of me like I was some kind of vortex funnel. Like I was some kind of necromancer spawning in units from the depths of hell. Just appeared in front of me. Stuff like that. Bugs. So I don't want to talk about too much, but there's a lot of bugs in the game. They're very obvious, and they're very easy to find. If you want a nice immersive experience, which is very, like, polished and crisp-free, this is not the game for you, because these bugs are all over the place, and they've been in the game for years at this point, and there's a lot of them. I think the 20-30 hours I played, nearly every map I went on for a siege map had some kind of issue. Some ranging from really bad and some ranging from, that's weird, what's happening over here? I had a map at some point in the series where there is a giant, like half the map is just turquoise blue on all the walls. I don't know what the hell was going on. Everything was just randomly blue all of a sudden. It was weird, but it's okay. So, the reason I bring that up as a big major point though is because the game is out. I feel like it is 2022, but we should not accept games being released in such states. I want QA testing. I want these bugs to be fixed so that we can have a nice, stable experience for us all to enjoy without having to worry about craziness ruining my save or ruining my experience. So, that's one of the issues. Second one, I'm going to go through quickly, is going to be the features of the game. Now, I'm not going to go out and say, oh, Tailwars promised this, because looking over I went through some articles on roadmaps and stuff. I can no longer see the original roadmap on Steam because the game's been released. I feel like they promised a lot of things and didn't deliver on a lot of them. Now, they did in theory change things. Like, for instance, originally I remember they promised kingdom and clan management, that kind of thing, or like tactical upgrades, all that kind of snaz, like upgrades to like balance, equipment, tactics, loads of stuff. They promised the world to us. But I feel like a lot of the game is still not finished. And it's still in the state it was in a lot of features the game is in release. Specifically, kingdom management is pretty much the same as it was in release. They have added things such as the declare war button. Wow. But sorry, that was very passive aggressive. I do apologize. Yeah, they've done a few changes like stuff like that. But after all, the system's kind of the same. You go into a game, you become a king or whatever. You don't really own a kingdom. You're just a part of it. If you're the king or a vassal, you have a voting system where votes dictate whatever happens in the game. If you're the king, you actually have an option to revoke what the council says, the republic. I'm going to call it the republic from now on. What the republic, your republic says, but you need influence to do so. So say if I want to fight Valandia and I have a massive army, huge army, every 12,000 troops versus 2,000 enemies, the game will continually try and stop my wars because I'm doing too well. And it will just decide, sorry man, I'm going to do the spam vote every 3 days until eventually you run out of influence and you have to make peace with this nation. Or it will start random wars with other countries until there are so many wars, my troops are just spread out and they can't do anything. So, I think that's a big problem, personally. So stuff like that. There's a lot of features where I think they should improve a lot of, and they haven't really improved it much in early access. I don't think it's really done to the point where they say that they've fulfilled their roadmap. I will say that they have released a new roadmap of stuff that was on the older roadmaps, but whatever, it's fine. But like I said, tactical management, the tactics of the AI has pretty much remained the same as they were when the game was released. The kingdom management has pretty much remained the same as well. The fief management's the same. The clan management has received, like, I think a change order button, a attack or defense button, and a wage management button. That's it. There's not much changes there. You can literally go into workshops and see it says level 1, but there's no way for them to level up. Stuff like that, everybody. There's a lot of unfinished stuff in this game. And I feel like it's not really the release they were expecting when they started the early access, and it's not really the release we deserve in terms of the features that should be more polished. So that's my quick one on that, everybody. I'm not going too much on that one. Don't worry, it's fine. The third point is going to be kind of 2 in 1, but it's very generalized. It's going to be the flow of the game, so kind of like the pacing, and also it's going to be the balance of the game. So quickly, with the pacing, the game seems to be trying to force you to play the game for a very long period of time. It's got many different mechanics that are very tailored towards slowing you down or limiting what you want to do. So when I say that, I'm on about, like, for instance, the anti-snowballing mechanics with kingdom warfare. If you are playing the game and you have a good kingdom, you will be forced to make peace or declare wars against your will to slow you down. Or at the same time, if you are doing too well, the game will randomly assign a bunch of mercenary clans to the enemy, so they get a bunch of free units, like 5 or 7 units in some cases, like different clans just join them. Hundreds of thousands of troops appear out of thin air they haven't got to pay for just to slow kingdoms down that are doing too well. Stuff like that, very obvious pacing mechanic. They're trying to slow the player down for some reason to make it a longer experience, but the content is not there for it to be a very long experience at this point. Same thing with like level ups with units. You get attribute points and focus points. A lot of the time it's forcing the player down using certain paths or different mechanics to keep leveling up to be a relevant character, but at the same time a lot of the traits you unlock are nothing to do with what you're currently doing. I can be a one-handed warrior, get a next level up to like 150, and I have to choose between a perk being like a quartermaster, getting perks of being a governor or being a party leader, stuff like that. I feel like it's not relevant. I feel like the perk should be based on what you're doing. If you're doing combat, you should get combat perks. If you're doing governing, you should get governing perks. If you're a captain, you should get captain perks. Or you have the old system in Warband where you just level up you just level up as you play the game, and you get perks in. You just get to assign a character skills without any predetermined bias or like build in mind. I think the build system turns away from the game, and especially when it comes to AI companions, it means they're mostly useless. So I just leveled up right there just by playing this game. If I go to the character screen, I can see I've got different perks, like I was saying here. If I go to one-handing, for instance, if I'm over here, I would get party leader or governor perks. Not relevant to one-handed fighting. If I want to level up stewardship, I get a learning limit, and I can't do it because it's just not letting me do it. The system offers too much limitation, in my opinion. I just built a character normally in a different situation. Now, that's for a player. The player can get around this. I can go and do smithing for 10 hours in a building to get more XP, but companions will be stuck at having randomized skills on purchase. They have all this charm, leadership, trade. I got to make them do all these things to level them up so I can get a trait, so I can increase their actual skill of medicine. It's all over the place. It makes them need to spend tens of hours to actually get anywhere, and it's just a very grindy system. One of the many grind systems that are designed to slow the player down. Anyway, so that's one of my main things there. The next one's probably going to be when it comes to balance. There's a lot of balance in the game that I think is just really off. Like, you have militia that is just completely awful at fighting, but if they have Valandian, they have crossbows so they can kill high level units, where the Battanian militia have bows that don't even pierce armor anymore. There's a lot of like weird troop balance issues that have not been touched since the game's released. I would say if I go to my party here and I go and look at a Imperial Legionary, for instance, you can get a Imperial Legionary with some he's actually got pretty good armor, actually. That is pretty decent armor right there. You can get these guys. They got 130 skill, 130 skill. That's how good they are at fighting. They have the same skill as the infantry. So these guys have 130 one-handed skill. These guys have 130. They're not specialized. Like, the archers should not be as good at fighting as the same tier infantry. They should be specialized. I'm not going to imagine that a longbowman that spent all his life being a longbowman is going to go into a battle and all of a sudden be as good as an Imperial Legionary of the same rank. No. An infantry unit should be specialized in one-handed fighting. Archer should be specialized in range unit. And if you get like a battalion, for instance, I have a wildling here and a Oathsworn. A difference of 10 points is nothing, by the way. I'm pretty sure this goes up to a scale of 350. That's like that's like a 1% difference in fighting skill. Why would I pick this guy with throwing weapons if this guy also has throwing weapons with the same skill? But it's stuff like that. It's very weird. It doesn't make much sense to me, and I think it's all over the place with balance. It needs to have they need to actually put some work into making the game flow better, and stuff like troops need to be balanced out, actually do some real balancing on the game to make all the perks and weapons kind of coincide. The amount of times I got into combat as a Britannia and my lords only have they have like no archers, and the enemy has like 200 crossbowmen, and you lose. Come on, guys. The balance is not there. It needs to be addressed. One of my points there. So anyway, that's going to be it for that point there. I'm going to go back into a summary of the end of the video, and that would be it for my little rant. Now, don't get me completely wrong, though. I just want to quickly clarify. I own a lot of games like this. I own like X4 Foundation. I own like any Paradox game. They're very well known for releasing games that are very basic at the start, but they grow over time. So I do not think that this game should be slated for its current state too much. I feel like it is a 7 out of 10 for me, but I also want to say that a lot of stuff has happened since the release of the game. I mean, like, we've had COVID, there's been a lot of stuff that's probably affected the development of the game quite a lot, and I would like to think that the Tailworld staff are not oblivious to the state of their game, and I think they would have a lot of ideas on how to fix it if they're given the time to do so. And I hope that the release of the console version will do well for them. It'll give them a lot of money to maintain the staff they have to work on the game, and we can see some long-term improvements over the coming years, because I did actually think it was going to be released in a few years' time, not released this year until I saw the notification. So I think they're aware of that, and I think they will work on it, and they will eventually fix it. At the same time, they've also released mod tools. So in the interim, now that we've got proper mod tools and Steam Workshop and stuff, even if there's issues with the game that personally I don't enjoy playing too much with certain aspects like base game, mods will hopefully let us go through the years until other stuff is working a bit better. I feel like the mods are going to be the biggest pull of the game in the long run. We're going to be able to be like the dwarf defending the mines of Mora or something like that, or we're going to be able to be like a crazy Jedi running away from Darth Vader as he chases up his force powers. I say all this, they're like, that's mad, what are you talking about? In Warband there were mods like that, by the way. I'm not even exaggerating. You literally could do those things in Warband. If you could do them Warband, those modders are still alive, hopefully, and they will probably be doing the same thing again for Bannerlord now they have the proper tools to do so. So I do want to end this video just saying thank you Tailworlds for releasing Bannerlord. I do appreciate it. There was it's great. I love that we got a modern version of the Mount and Blade game, and I think it's amazing that we get to play it. And I do think it was maybe released a bit too early, and I wish you guys the best with actually fixing it and making it more polished. The game you hopefully want to be proud of and release in the future. As to my thoughts on the game, though, I'm going to say for the release version of the game, it is a 7 out of 10 for me, and it is also, unfortunately, a disappointment. It is, in my opinion, not the game I was hoping it would be when it was released. I struggle to play base game. I did not really enjoy it after I got to late game at all. The kingdom management was not for me. Maybe the game's just not designed for people like me. You never know. I did like Warband, but maybe the design policies changed enough that I'm no longer like its designated person. You never know. But like I said, it was a disappointment for me. But at the same time, I'm also aware that time will fix all. And over time, I hope that it will fix this. I will personally not change anything what I'm doing right now. We will still be playing Bannerlord, do not worry. I've recorded 17 episodes of my current base game series. It will come out, don't worry. I'm actually not recording now for the next 2 weeks. I'm taking a nice little vacation. I recorded loads of Victoria 3 last few days and then loads of Bannerlord. I've been recording so much my voice hasn't worked for half the time I've been awake for the last 2 weeks. It's been ridiculous. But like I said, that will continue. When the series ends, though, I will not be doing a base game series again, at least until many moons have passed and the game is, in my opinion, fun enough for me to play in my own time, because I haven't actually played Bannerlord in my own time for probably a year and a half, everybody. I've only done it for work, so I feel bad about that sometimes, but it's just how it is. Yeah, it is what it is. We will, of course, carry on playing. Hopefully, by the time that I finish my little mini vacation from recording Bannerlord and stuff, and it's been, the end of... When would it be? Let's have a look at my calendar. The last video released on the 27th of November. So, yes, that is a long time away, and you've got a lot of videos to watch, everybody. Don't worry. But, as for me, hopefully mods will start coming out in the next few weeks, and I can start playing them. I'm looking forward to that. And also, I hope that there is some interesting changes with the game itself, like patches and stuff to make it a lot better. As for me at this point, though, I'm done with base game. Don't ask me to play it again. And good luck out there, Tailworlds and modders. I look forward to playing your games and your ideas in the future. Thank you for watching. As always, please like, subscribe, and comment below, and I'll see you next time. Bye.